Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news other markets are having a hard time absorbing fast rising American interest rates. On Wall Street today, the bond sell-off continued, with yields rising another 4 basis points, and the US Treasury 10-year yield now up to 3.2%. That has shifted up almost 15 basis points in a week and was just too much for equities, which have dropped sharply today, with the S&P 500 down 1.3% and the Nasdaq down an eye-catching 2.2%. These are falls like we have been seeing recently in Hong Kong, where they closed 1.7% lower yesterday. Things look grim for what might happen in the Shanghai market when it reopens on Monday after their week-long holiday. In the US, there was no new data of significance, although initial unemployment claims are still running low. All eyes are now on tomorrow's non-farm payrolls report, and analysts now expect that to show a gain of 184,000 jobs, and that would not meet the narrative of a booming labour market. It's an okay level, but not great, and well below trend. Thailand and Indonesia are facing a liquidity squeeze and challenges in refinancing debt, the World Bank says. It is not saying these countries are facing a crisis now, mainly because their foreign debt obligations are relatively low, but it is saying that rising protectionism and increased financial market volatility are likely to hurt their economic prospects significantly. The World Bank says their floating currencies are a strength, enabling them to buffer shocks. In China, the African swine fever outbreak is spreading in their important pig industry. This is the pig equivalent of foot and mouth disease for cattle. It is serious for them, and more so because it looks like they can't seem to control the spread. Official numbers are still small, but underreporting will be a major issue, complicating matters. It is another big knock for their national food safety systems. A UN agency is reporting that global food commodity prices fell in September due to growing inventories of key staples. This is the sixth consecutive monthly fall, and their overall food price index is now back to a level we last saw in September 2016. Basically, we're producing more food than we're consuming. In Australia, the departing Inspector General of Taxation has called for increased oversight of the Australian Tax Office, saying there is too much power being concentrated in one individual, the ATO Commissioner. The claim is that their tax authority is becoming too arbitrary and makes mistakes in at least 5% of cases it reviews. The US Treasury 10-year yield is up again to 3.2% and is up another 5 basis points. Their 2-10 curve has pushed out to almost 32 basis points. The Aussie government 10-year is up sharply also to 2.71%. That's up 7 basis points, while the Chinese government 10-year is still at 3.66%, unchanged due to their week-long holiday, and possibly due for a big catch-up change on Monday. The New Zealand government 10-year is at 2.65%, and that's up 4 basis points. Gold, however, is little changed at $1,198 in New York. US oil prices are down sharply today, down by about $2 a barrel, now just on $74.50 a barrel. The Brent benchmark is now just over $84.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is still declining and down by another half cent to just 64.8 US cents. On the cross rates, we're a little changed at 91.7 Aussie cents and 56.3 Euro cents. That pushes the TWI down to 69.1. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.